Hi, good evening. This is the April 11th meeting of the Needham Conservation Commission. I'm Dave Harrer, the Conservation Commission Chair. Before we get started, I'm going to confirm that members of the commission and staff are present. When I call your name, please say here. Sue?
Here.
Reed? Not here. Bill?
Here.
Fred? I know Fred's here. I can't hear him. You're on mute, Fred. Allison,
Here.
Paulina,
Here.
and Deb,
Here.
and Clay.
Oh, sorry about that. Yep, I'm here.
Okay. This open meeting of the Town of Needham Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Healy's March 2023 extension of the open meeting law. Temporary provisions. All supporting materials have been provided to the members of the commission and are available on the Conservation Commission website. So a few ground rules for our meeting. I'll introduce each hearing on the agenda and introduce hearing or discussion on the agenda and introduce the applicant and or their consultant to begin their presentation or discussion. After conclusion of the applicant's presentation, I will call on each commission member to provide comments or questions. Please hold until your name is called. After comments or questions from the commission members, I will solicit questions or comments from the staff and then from the public. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted via roll call vote. Okay, so the first item on the agenda will be the minutes. I think we had minutes from last meeting, which was April 4th, 2024. Anybody have?
March 14th.
Was it
March 28th.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Thanks.
Yeah. The only reason I remember is I sent some comments to Clay.
Okay. So any other comments from commissioners? No. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 28th, 2024?
I move to motion.
Second.
Second.
All right. Let's vote. Reed,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Allison,
Aye.
Bill, you're on mute.
Aye.
And Sue,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, second item on the agenda is any enforcement or violation updates.
So earlier this week, I met out at 40 Lake with Rich Kirby, who's the wetlands scientist who's putting together the after the fact notice of intent for the work that they did outside the footprint of the foundation. So he's going to be putting that together, so we should be seeing that shortly.
Okay. Anybody interested in our visit to 320 Grove Street? Yeah, I'll do quickly. I went out there the Friday after our last meeting, and Bill Hebard also came along. We reviewed the site to see if there's any violations of the order of conditions. I felt the site was very neat, very well kept. Everything seemed to be in order with regard to the order of conditions. And the flooding was obviously from the amount of water that overflowed from the little channel that was flowing through the site. It seemed like, although we never study this in detail, but it seemed like the drainage structure that was on 302 Grove in Wellesley was basically the limiting factor in the drainage. But anyway, as we all know, there's been an incredible amount of water, rain, December and January, and then the week or two prior to the visit. So I told the builder for the people at 302 that if he still felt that there was some violation or that the construction was, somehow contributing to the flooding, to submit some proof, some evidence, because it just didn't seem like there was any well-founded complaint. So they then called Wellesley and tried to get Wellesley involved, and but Wellesley told them to call us. So after we talked to people at Wellesley, so basically, it seemed to me that this is some kind of dispute between the parties there, and we shouldn't get involved. But if there was a violation of the order conditions, or if there was some impact on the wetlands, then we would certainly look into it. So,
So as far as the order to go in, DPW is here now. So if you want to do the general maintenance activity notification. Just, I don't know if we've had any of these since you've been here, Dave, but so part of their general permit, they have certain allowable activities, and they just need to notify us by filling out this form. And often they'll come before the commission just to kind of give them an overview of what they'll be doing under this particular notification.
yeah, that sounds pretty straightforward. So who do we have from the DPW to?
Hi, I'm
Justin?
Justin Saviano, the assistant town engineer, and I'm here with Mike Retzky.
Hi all.
Okay. So floor is yours.
Sure.
Now you want me to start, Justin?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Sure. If you'd like, do you want me to pull up any pictures so you can take a look? I can share my screen and you can kind of see the area we're talking about.
just to give you a perspective while Justin's pulling this up, this is on Dedham Avenue.
Can you guys see this right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, this piece of culvert pipe here is on Dedham Avenue. Literally runs parallel just before the DPW garage building at 470 Dedham Ave. And it's off the roadway. It's in the woods. I don't know why they put this piece of culvert in its open channel on both ends of it. I think at one point way back, maybe they were looking to put in some kind of driveway there many years ago, long before that's what one of my foremen told me that was here, that's been here for like 30 years. So who knows? But anyway, it was put in before he was here too. So anyhow, what we're seeing here is during some of these heavy rains we've had, we've seen a lot of washout and overflow on these culverts because of some volume of rain. So we're looking to put up a couple of wing walls that I've kind of drawn in there the best I could. And they'll be precast concrete block that'll go in, that'll fit together, and they'll probably be perpendicular to this wall so we can prevent this erosion on both sides and prevent anything from washing in. And then we'll also do some riprap around there to help prevent any washout around it. Or as you could see under the pipe right there, where Justin's arrow is, that's starting to erode under it, because when that water starts to come out of that pipe, there's a lot of velocity there and it can wash some stuff out. There's one big rock in the bottom there, but that's about it. So we want to make sure we could dissipate some of that flow so it's not causing any erosion within the limits where the force will be coming through that pipe when there's a heavy rain.
So is
So
that it?
as part of one of the activities they're allowed to do, under the general permit is, repair or replacement of head walls. And I did go out there with Mike, a few months ago after one of the rain events, to look at the area. And, so this really needs to be done at this point.
Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward. Is that it? Do you have anything else?
I,
No, I think in the future, Mike, you're talking about doing some plantings and, just kind of,
Yeah, I think in the future with us not needing this head wall and this culvert, it's just kind of another obstacle for the stormwater to get out of town when we have these heavy events. And potentially down the road, we might be looking to take it out and kind of create some bank there and restore some of the resource area there that kind of abuts it. But for right now, we're looking to just fix this to make sure it's shored up for any upcoming rain events that could, if there was ever a clog, it's just a nightmare for everyone upstream that then gets the backup, and then DPW and everyone around Dedham Ave that would deal with the flooding.
All right.
and you're gonna be putting erosion controls in when you're doing this work?
correct, we'll put in straw wattles and whatever else we need to ensure that that's squared away. So.
And
so
try to
so
do
we're
it
limited.
during a dry period if we have one?
Correct, correct. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, you guys were talking about the rain. Our precipitation report for the end of March was almost 10 inches of rain. So you can imagine everything's wet everywhere right now. So
Yeah, well, it was 10 in December and 10 in January too.
yeah, yeah,
So-
yeah,
And the normal was like around 4, so it's,
yeah,
it's
way up.
been quite a bit of rain.
Correct.
So will you need machinery to do any of
Oh,
this
yeah.
work?
Oh, yeah.
Or
Oh,
what is
yeah.
the,
Yeah, we're gonna bring in our excavator, our rubber track machine excavator, because we got to be able to handle those block. They're heavy. They're precast concrete block, large.
Mhm.
So similar to what you see that we use for our material storage bins. So we've already procured those. They're here on site in our DPW yard out back. And so as soon as we get the commission's okay, we'll get this work scheduled when we have a dry spell to be able to go right in there and get this squared away.
So do you see that you'll need to remove any vegetation or trees or anything to access?
I'm not planning on it. If there's some small trees in the area that we have to cut to get the excavator in, we will do that. But that'll be limited to what we need just to access equipment.
Yeah, I've walked the site over there. It's pretty easy to get back there
Yep.
from the roadside. If anything, there might be some brush and some saplings in the way, but I don't
And nothing
see
large.
that any big tree would have to come down for it.
Do you think you need to put any boards down or anything to protect the adjacent buffer zone? To
All
bring it-
that, most of that area's already been washed out.
Yeah,
That whole area, it all got washed out in one of those storms.
just to keep it from getting ruts and.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll come back in and put in some loom too after we're done. So because we want to touch that up and get some growth around it to prevent further washout.
Mhm.
With whatever we disturb, we'll do riprap, and then behind the riprap, we'll do some loam.
Okay.
Right, any of the commissioners have any comments?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So did you, when I look at this erosion that's happening on the wing walls, so what does the water build up behind the concrete support wall and then spills over the sides? Is that what's happening? Because it looks really flat around it. And the reason I ask that question is because if you were to make a perpendicular wall on either side, which I understand, would the water then go around and erode on the side of the perpendicular wall? Would it then go over, like fill up and then go over? Like, I'm not kind of visual. I don't think the erosion isn't coming from what's coming through the pipe. It's from what's
No.
behind the wall.
Correct,
So.
correct. It's
what-
coming
what-
around the
what
sides
would
because it
stop
came over
that?
the top.
What would, yes, then you.
It came over the top. Yeah.
Okay.
From,
Alright.
this is the downstream side. It came over the top from the upstream, which
Yeah.
is about 50 feet away. So it's up there. So
So it's not gonna erode on the side of the wing walls you're building either. You think that won't happen?
No, the size and weight of the blocks that'll go in are heavy enough to hold back the hill. And then with the additional riprap, it'll be able to slow down any of the water that's flying in, because you're getting water from the stream, but you're also getting, once this area floods, you're getting overland flow from other areas that are contributing to it. So it's really to shore up that whole side of the wall, and the weight of those blocks will hold back that that material there, so it won't then wash in towards the pipe, which would then cause a
Fill
potential
up, I know, and then it won't.
fog and then back everything up.
Then it won't flow, yeah.
Yeah. The other issue is what you don't see here right downstream of this photo that's on is the corner of the 470 DPW garage building.
Yeah.
So it's literally right there.
Oh, all right.
This brook or culvert was built right adjacent to it.
Yeah.
So we're also looking to protect infrastructure in the area. It's a kind of twofold.
Yeah, okay.
All right, anybody else have a question?
I do. I have a quick question. I was wondering, why are you, I assume this is going to be a temporary fix, and why not just remove the whole culvert if it's such an issue? Is it,
That
Yeah.
That's-
So, oh, sorry, you can go, Mike. But
Go ahead. That's a major project.
Your project.
And, we only have one excavation crew under DPW. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, and we're continually doing maintenance on our water system, on our sewer system, and on our drain system. And so we don't have the time frame or the capability to do some of that work. So this is a fix that'll work for what we think is a fairly good duration until we can get this in as the project. I don't know if the Conservation Commission's familiar with what we're doing due to the flooding that happened in Needham back on August 8th, but we're putting together a stormwater master plan following NIPD's MS4 permit guidelines, and also looking at both quality and quantity of water, stormwater that's been causing problems throughout town. And so this will be one of the areas, actually all of the area here at DPW Yard, which flooded back then with over a foot of water, almost a foot of water in the actual garage bay at the time. So we're looking to address this whole area once we do the stormwater master plan, which is going to be voted on at annual town meeting, so that we can get this moving forward and look at all the areas that flooded and what's the best way to resolve them, and start putting these projects out so that we can continue to do true improvements instead of just little things.
yeah,
Okay, I would note that you said that pipe is 50 feet long too, right?
Yeah, 50 feet. Yeah,
so
40 or
that
50 feet
would
up.
be a major excavation out there.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're looking at all the streams that act as part of our stormwater infrastructure around town. Areas like this that might have served a purpose to get across that initially because they were going to build something maybe potentially over there. But in the future, in taking them out and creating more storage, these projects have to be studied too to make sure some of these culverts act as restrictions to make sure we don't want to take something out and then kind of wash other people out further downstream. But all of these bigger projects would require most likely notice of intent and just take longer to design and put into action, where we need to keep up on this. So if we get any catastrophic storms this summer, at least we know that what we have is going to hold up.
All right, good.
Or hold up
Any other comments? All right, so I guess you're good to go.
Great.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you all.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Much appreciated. Bye now.
Thanks.
All right, so we want to go to 190 Edgewater Drive. The request for a certificate of compliance. And-
Yeah, I can go over that.
Okay.
So essentially they had received a partial COC they had quite the planting plan that they implemented. So we did get the final monitoring report, which shows, I think it's like 90% or something of the plantings survived, and I did do a site visit out there maybe like a month and a half ago, and everything looks great. So I recommend issuing the complete COC at this time.
Okay. Any comments from the commissioners? No? Okay, let's,
I just have a question.
okay, Bill?
As it listed the various trees and shrubs that it put in, it then had a list of additional trees and shrubs that it put in.
Mhm.
Was that to make up for things that had not thrived, or I didn't understand it.
Well, I think the homeowner is here if they want to speak to that. But I think they would have made their 75% without those additional plantings.
Okay.
I think that they were just making it known that they did put in excess of what was required. And by it would seem like there was a lot of arborvitae in there, so it may have been used for screening. And so I think they just wanted it noted, but they would have met it anyways.
Thanks.
Sure.
All right, so on Deb's recommendation, let's vote kind of a motion to issue a certificate of compliance to 190 Edgewater Drive, DEP file 234-853.
So moved.
Second.
All right, let's vote here. Sue,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Allison,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
and did I get Bill? Yeah.
Yep. Aye.
Okay,
Me
and the chair
too.
votes aye.
Twice.
Paulina votes aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see,
That's okay.
I didn't see your picture here. That threw me off here.
Yeah, I'm having some Zoom issues, but I'm here.
All right, great. So, good. Next item is Needham Reservoir DP file 234-902 sediment amendment discussion. So I think we have some people from, is it Beta?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so if you want to kind of just summarize what your amendment is about.
Yeah, absolutely. And my name's Craig Ellis. I'm with Beta Group. I'm a manager here, and I've been working on the Needham Reservoir project, and this relates to the dredging activities that are going on. Let me just share a screen with you. Hold on. Can everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So one of the activities when we're actually doing when the dredging's occurring, they'll be drying out the sediment in a stockpile area, which is this area right here. And as part of that, they need to get the moisture content down below a certain amount, just so when it actually is traveling, you don't run into anything coming out of the trucks or anything like that, liquid or anything like that. So you have to get it to and we'll be doing what's called a paint filter test to check it, to make sure that they get the moisture content they need. But one of the ways that they do this, and we did this at Rosemary as well, and it was effective, is using a lime or a Portland cement and actually applying it to the stockpile itself and mixing it. And then it helps on getting the moisture content to a reasonable amount that you can transport to a receiving facility. And so that's what I want to discuss tonight, is just that approach. One of the things we'd be doing, which is actually similar to what we did with the Rosemary project, is the beta will be going around just checking superficial soil for pH, because that would be an indicator that it was leaving the pile. But it would really just, the application itself would be on the stockpile itself. And we'd also be checking the nearby wetlands as well for pH, just to verify that it's not going anywhere. And that was it. I just wanted to talk to the commission about that.
Yeah, I mean, that seems straightforward. I know that technique is used quite a bit for, stabilizing sludges, various sludges. So it seems appropriate. Does any of the commissioners have any questions? Fred, you got your hand up?
Yes, I was interested to know what happens to this material once it is taken, hauled away.
Like where it's being transported to a lined or an unlined landfill, it'll be reused as a daily cover material. So it's
So
actually it's a reuse application. It's not like a disposal per se. It's actually, a lot of these places need some type of daily cover, so they use this kind of material as a reuse application.
So it'll go over the material in a landfill.
Correct. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, the daily cover, not the final cover, just.
Not the final quote.
Yeah,
And,
just-
and is the amount of cement is there a process for mixing this in with the sludge?
Yeah, I mean, they'll typically use just a excavator, and you just mix it in, you let it sit for a little bit. It does its magic, and then once it's ready to haul off, they can do so.
And what's the ability of water to percolate through the material once this is all done?
That's part of the reason we'll be doing pH testing. I mean, worst case, if there was anything, we could excavate a little superficial soil if we needed to, but the general idea behind it is you're really applying it to the top and kind of mixing it in and pulling it out. And then we'll be doing testing along the sides just to make sure that we're not getting any big issues. And we could certainly do that. Like once this material is all gone and they remove their stockpile area, we can certainly test beneath it as well, just to check it. But I mean, whereas Portland cement, I mean, it's a common product, obviously, or lime for that matter. So it's
Yeah, and it reacts quickly too.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
So is that stockpile area, is that in the 25 foot?
This is the 100-foot right here. This is your 100-foot buffer zone. This blue line.
Yeah. I'm just looking over to the right of that where the dewatering is that.
Oh, this line right here is your 200-foot riverfront.
Yeah, the hatched
Yeah.
area to the right. Yeah, in there. Is that where
Uh,
you're,
This is the proposed dewatering area.
so part of that is in the 25 foot buffer?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Reed, you got your hand up?
Yeah, just on the dewatering area, I may not be right, but yeah, isn't there a large amount of vegetation in there? And I guess, so there's no trees in there that would need to be removed, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, we have it, and there's some saplings, but it's mostly brush. We did actually include in there to do clearing of brush and saplings in that area is needed with some restoration work at the completion.
Yeah, we already approved that previously. So I think
Okay.
you're just, the so-called amendment is just that you want to add this material to help stabilize the sludge.
Correct. Yep.
Apologies, that must predate me.
Yeah,
So it's not technically an amendment to their permit. The amendment is adding something, amending the sediment. So they're not looking to amend, they're just kind of looking for permission
yeah.
to allow the use.
All right, any other comments? We don't need a vote on this, do we?
No, I guess if no one has anything negative to say, then you're good.
All right,
Okay.
good.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh,
When are
sorry.
you starting? You starting this when?
I will be
Right.
getting a schedule. It actually went out, the bids actually were in today. So with the notice of award still has to get issued, and we'll be getting a schedule from the contractor. So I'll keep everyone posted on that.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.
Thanks. Okay, next item is discussion of water chestnut removal at Red Wing Bay. And we have Kara. You're from the DCR?
I am from the DCR, and I'm also here with Lisa Kumpf from the Charles River Watershed Association.
Right.
And she's really leading this, so I will let her speak.
All right, welcome.
Hi, everyone. So I have a little short presentation, if that's all right.
Great.
Okay, I'll just share that here. Okay, can you all see this?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm not sure how familiar you all are with water chestnuts, but or with CRWA, but we're a nonprofit. We look at the Charles River and try to protect it. Our invasive work in particular is part of our restoration program. We have run a volunteer invasive removal program since 2012, which has mainly in the past been focused on water chestnuts in the Lakes District, and we also focus on bittersweet on the terrestrial side. We've been working with DCR for the past 5 years to mitigate the aquatic invasives in the Charles River Lakes District and Lower Basin through a 5-year management plan that's now going into year 4 this year. So this is kind of upstream of where we have been working, but is certainly all connected and relevant. CRWA also is supporting an invasives bill at the State House, and we look at invasives whenever we're looking at different restoration projects. So just kind of to inform you guys of how we're looking at these. But in particular, our water chestnut work in the Lakes District has progressed over many years. This really started because the Lakes District was covered by water chestnuts, and a lot of citizens there were very interested in remediating that, so they got us involved, and we've gotten funding for mechanical harvesting and this volunteer hand pulling effort for several years now, and we've conducted these pre and post season surveys, and they really do show progress, a lot of progress. This is like the acres covered before the season and after the season, and there's actually no more bars anymore because essentially we're picking the weeds as they come up at this point. So really what we've been seeing now is that and we work with Paddle Boston, who provides the canoes for this effort for the volunteers, and we engage about 250 volunteers every year. We have a really awesome amount of volunteers, but not much to pick in the Lakes District anymore. And we noticed that this is an issue up in Red Wing Bay now, as of last summer.
Can I just ask, what's considered the Lakes District?
Yeah, sorry for that. So the Lakes District is basically what's impounded behind the Moody Street Dam. So it goes through parts of Waltham, Weston, and Newton.
About to where the Marriott in Newton is, the Marriott, Paddle Boston, the 95 interchange, that area.
Yeah. So if you're not sorry, I went too far. Oh, okay, going back. So we noticed last summer and got a lot of reports from a lot of our citizens who are paddling through the Red Wing Bay that we've really gotten this infestation of water chestnut popping up. And you can even see this in these satellite images. It's really these two main areas right in the bay. And we're concerned that it's only going to grow and get worse and also propagate downstream into areas that haven't experienced this infestation before. And we're estimating that this is about 2.8 acres within the bay right now. So if you're not familiar with water chestnuts, it's an annual plant, and it grows from the bottom of the riverbed. They come up in June. They form nutlets that you can see here. They're like little spikies, and they drop in early August. And so it's best to remove these plants before the nutlets fall in early August. And it's really effective to hand pull the full plant. And you kind of get the root out of the soil gently. And as I showed you in the Lakes District, it really can be effectively managed with hand pulling from year to year, which is great since a lot of other invasives, that's a challenge. So what we're hoping to do this year in 2024 is host about 8 volunteer days with about 20 volunteers each. And that would be from mid-June through the beginning of August when the best season is for pulling. We've spoken with Paddle Boston, and they are happy to provide canoes to the DCR boat launch there that we can use. And we'll encourage volunteers to carpool because I know parking is tight in that area as well. And then we're in discussion of exactly where to compost the material when we pull it up. DCR has agreed to do that if we have a dumpster come onto the property, which we did in the Lakes District for many years, especially when we had a large amount of material that can then be shipped off site. Or possibly we're trying to talk to the trustees about composting it on their adjacent site, which would also be great. And this material composts pretty quickly and easily. The muskrats love eating the little nutlets. And it's pretty nice soil that it makes, honestly. So yeah, and then DCR is definitely supporting this. I don't care if you want to say more.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I am Kara Swaski. I'm the Lakes and Ponds Program Manager here at DCR and have been working with Lisa for, oh gosh, almost a handful of years now. But before that, other staff at DCR have been managing water chestnut in primarily the Lakes District since about the late 90s. So, you know, we've fought the long and hard battle. And that's what, you know, Lisa and I are hoping that does not become the case for Red Wing Bay. You know, we don't want to be hand pulling and mechanically harvesting water chestnut for the next 30 years in Red Wing Bay. We would rather catch it while it's small and can be hand pulled effectively because it is a small amount of area. So I won't necessarily read through all of these bullet points, but basically this obviously aligns with all of the other work that we are doing in the Charles, both with CRWA and work we've done just as DCR alone. You know, it obviously promotes a great kind of sense of community amongst volunteers as well, because it is so visually satisfying to go out and hand pull water chestnut, though it's a little muddy and a little spiky sometimes from the nutlets. You know, it's instant gratification when someone's out there pulling that water chestnut because they can physically see what they've done. Again, it's not necessarily for everybody, but it can be fun if you make the best of it. But ultimately, it's better for the river overall, as we obviously want to promote more native aquatic plant species and not have them outcompeted by things like water chestnut and you know, milfoil and fanwort and all the other invasives are a whole separate discussion for another time. And, you know, probably future management at some point, but TBD there. But yeah, ultimately, you know, we certainly support this effort that CRWA wants to undertake because it's really good for the Charles as a whole.
Okay, yeah, that's great. It sounds like a needed project. I've been out there quite a bit, and I see that stuff really takes over. I would note that past couple of years, Needham has constructed a parking area adjacent to the rail trail up at the top of the hill on the other side of the road
That's good to know.
from the entrance to the Red Wing Bay area. So I think that parking would not be a problem because of that
Okay.
that area. I know down around the little circle at Red Wing Bay, it's kind of tight, but
Right.
there's plenty of room at this parking area.
That's great.
Yeah. So Sue, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I just want to, I know Charles River Watershed Association is very experienced. I'm sure DCR working under DCR with all this, and they've done it for years. I just had and it sounds wonderful. I just had a quick question. When the water chestnut plant is removed, when it's hand pulled, do the nutlets fall off, or the nutlets intact still then, so it all comes out together?
Yeah, they're typically intact. They don't really grow until, a week before they're gonna, mature and fall off. So that's why we try to get them in before that early August timeframe. And we'll, as every year is a little bit different in terms of exactly when they're gonna fall. We know the approximate, and some plants will go before others, but as we're bringing them up, we try to grab all the little nutlets if they do come off, but generally they'll kind of be a little looser once they're ready to fall. So try to get them before that.
I was going to say the other thing too is when they are not ready to fall, they are still green on the underside of the water chestnut, but as they prepare to fall off, they turn that black color like in the photo Lisa had in her slides. So it is kind of easier to tell when they are, nearing their departure into the water.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Any comments or questions? Deb, what's the next step for them?
I think they were just kind of looking for our support and somewhat the commission's permission to move forward with this.
Okay.
They're also doing work in Wellesley, so they've kind of been in touch with the agent in Wellesley as well. So I know she
We're
was
in Dover.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dover, not Wellesley. I
That's
worked
okay.
with Janet Bowser in Wellesley, so that's why my mind went there.
Like the piece on the other side of the river is in Dover, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I know that that Janet was gonna present this to her commission as well. So it's just basically showing our support for it.
Yeah, I think we could get some volunteers for you too.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Great.
Right. So I guess just kind of keep in touch, let us know, when you think you're going to be doing the work. Because that's when you start to get phone calls and people saying, what are they doing out there? So just
That
give
makes
us a
sense.
heads up when you
No
figure out your
problem.
timing, and good luck.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, take care. All right. Is that it? 53 Heather Lane, are they ready? Or is that still just a placeholder?
I guess it's still just a placeholder. Yeah, I was hoping that Joyce Hastings was going to have something in by now, but she has not, so it's still a placeholder.
Okay.
And we do still just need a motion on 0 and 731 South Street. I believe we
Oh
moved
yeah, continue that.
meeting.
Okay,
Oh, I should update you on those as well. So we did receive additional information for 0 and 731 today. So we will have new material to review and presentation on the 25th as far as that goes. And we are also supposed to get information next week for the additional information deadline for the golf course. So we'll have those two items. Hopefully we'll finish those up.
okay, so can I have a motion to continue the hearing 0 and 731 South Street, DEP file 234 920, I guess it would be till April 28th, 25th. I'm sorry.
Motion to
moved.
continue.
Okay,
Second,
all right, let's vote here. Paulina,
hi.
Fred,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Allison,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. All right. Quick meeting.
So we will have to. So Sue had asked for us to vote again about whether we were remaining remote or going in person. So you were a little bit closer this time, Sue. It was almost a tie. It was very close. But there does seem to be more interest. Someone had suggested potentially like meeting, once every quarter or something in person. So I said I'd do a little research into that. I don't know logistically how easy that would be. That would be more Clay to figure that part out. But that was an idea that was put out there. So for now, they still did want to stay remote too. So I think the government, is it March of 25, I think,
Right.
when either gonna run out or they're gonna renew it. So,
Okay,
all right,
thank you.
welcome.
I'm gonna go cry.
No, don't cry.
Okay.
And we could have a party.
We gotta be in person for a party,
What? Yeah, we
We
could have,
for a party.
we could have a
No,
barbecue.
Cosmo doesn't want you to cry either, Sue. He's very upset. Very upset. It's
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you could come over to my house.
that's true.
Oh, we
Yeah,
can-
why not?
Yeah.
Sue, I think you and I are practically neighbors. Is that right?
yeah, you're right. I'm in Stockdale.
You know what
You're-
Janet used to do? She used to go to the Chinese restaurant and drink.
Who did that?
Janet.
Remember? Did you go once? Maybe you didn't.
How
Yeah,
do- Well,
yeah. She could go and hey, let's go to the Chinese restaurant and have some
Yeah.
beer or something. It was fun. you
New
know?
Garden, New Garden.
Exactly.
My goodness.
Now,
You're around the bench.
are we allowed to circulate an idea like this without violating the open meeting law?
Don't talk about business.
Circulate an idea like what, Fred?
Like stopping somewhere socially?
If you don't talk business, you can
Yeah.
we don't have to stay remote.
We're all friends here, Fred.
I was being tongue in cheek, but
Oh, no, but I think Allison's right, as long as you're not discussing any thing that's subject to
Exactly.
hearing,
Yeah.
yeah.
all right, sounds good.
I think it counts as a work hour, a paid hour for staff to come and just,
Oh, overtime, it'd be double time, right?
Yeah, that is definitely overtime.
All right, that's okay. Needham can afford it. All right, anything else anybody wants to bring up?
Are people going,
Sorry.
are people going to the May 9th rededication that the email was sent forward, or the rededication of the Eastman Conservation land behind the Newman?
Conservation area.
Yeah,
I'm planning to go.
yeah.
That's May 9th?
May
Yes.
9th at 10 in the morning. That would be a time people could meet.
Yeah, if you feed the turtles out there, right?
Yeah, they used to be huge.
They are.
Yeah, I guess the signage there has been missing for some time.
About feeding the turtles? Or is it-
No, not
in
feeding the
general?
turtles, just the Eastman, conservation area sign, because the town manager's office was asking if we had any pictures of it. Because they were going to make a mock-up of one until it can get replaced for the dedication.
Oh, I see.
But I couldn't find pictures of it, so. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So somebody want to move to close the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Anybody opposed? No?
No, don't go.
All right,
Oh,
it's unanimous. Oh,
Have a good
Night-
night, everyone.
night,
Happy
everybody.
Patriots Day.
Enjoy the spring.
That's right.
As soon as it
Bye.
stops raining, it's going to be nice and warm.
Happy spring.
Happy spring. Bye.
See
all.
you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks.